So I'm having a terrible day. Woke up to find that TikTok has removed another one of my videos and banned me for a week. I appealed and they added the video back. It was taken down by mistake. However, I'm still banned, can't post, can't comment, can't message anybody. Now they're telling me if I have another community violation, they could permanently delete my account. So my days are numbered on TikTok. My account is a pop culture account, so I understand like I am talking about other people. It's so frustrating because I feel like I'm just walking on eggshells and I can't say the things that I want to say. So that's why I'm here. I thought I would share this experience of an even worse day that I had, maybe remind myself that things could be a lot worse, and I can channel some of my rage. So Hurricane Ida, the news was saying that it's gonna be a big storm, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna drown, levees are gonna break, the city's gonna blow up. I'm not originally from New Orleans, but I've been here 5 years. I've been through my fair share of storm warnings, and it usually ends up being nothing. Like either some rain, some power goes out a little bit, or the storm completely misses us. So first, that's what I was thinking. Then I remember I asked the locals, the people I know who are from here. I know my boyfriend is from here. My roommate is also from here. Everybody told me, it's fine. By Friday, I remember going to my professor's office and asking him, what's the deal with this storm? Like, should I be worried? And he was like, it's a matter of comfort. If you're uncomfortable with no power and no AC, if you can't handle that, go to a motel in Alabama, which naturally I took as like an insult to my manhood. I have a complex where I like need to prove myself. So after that conversation, I was like, I'm staying. And all my friends who were freaking out, I was like, give me a break. Come on. We're all going to live. It was starting to look like it's gonna be a few days with no power. I walked to the grocery store nearby my house. And so I think to myself, what can I get by on that I can just eat and not die? And so I get some like packs of beans, I get some bread, I get some protein bars and some cheap liquor, naturally. When I get home Friday night, both my roommates are staying. I call Brian, who's my boyfriend, and I'm like, what do we wanna do? He's like, I don't wanna risk driving this long way to go somewhere only to drive back Sunday night to go to work on Monday. By this time, the storm is looking worse and I'm like, okay, maybe I don't wanna be without power, sweating like a farm animal for 5 days. Then later he calls me and he's like, we need to leave. Apparently this man turned on the radio and the first thing that he heard was, if you're still listening to this and you're here, you need to leave. And so he was like, it's a sign, I'm not having work on Monday, like let's just go. So I have a cat. She is the star of the story. I get her food, I get her litter box, I throw her in the crate, and of course she's like, ah! We end up leaving at late at night. We end up stopping in a motel in Alabama. This was an Econo Lodge, like right on the side of the highway. They're like the cheapest motels you can find. There's no like hallways, like everything is just outside, and from the parking lot you have 2 stories and you can see like the door to each room. And we were on the 2nd story and I remember we just passed out. We wake up next morning, it's a super hot day. You would never think there's a hurricane coming. I remember giving him a hug and him being like, where's Indy? Indy's the cat, right? There's like a little office desk with 2 chairs tucked into the desk, and she's on top of one of the chairs, like under the table, with sitting how cats do when they like don't have any arms or legs, like a loaf. I remember Brian saying, she looks sus. Let me tell you, sus was an understatement. Then I'm packing my stuff. I take her litter box and I go put it in the car, and Brian's like, where's Indy? And I'm just like, I don't know, she's probably here somewhere. We spend like 10 minutes packing the car. We don't have that much stuff. Still no sign of Indy. The room is literally so small. It's just a king bed. There's not even a closet. And the beds, the box spring was like right on the ground. So there were no legs on the bed. So there's nowhere that she could get underneath the bed. So we're checking the bed, we're checking everywhere. And I'm like, that's really weird. I do not know where this cat is. But I'm not freaking out because this is what she does. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just sit down and wait for her to come out. Another 15-minute passes, no sign of her. So now I'm starting to get a little bit stressed. And we tear through, we like take the little dresser and we move it away from the wall. We like look in the drawers because she likes to go in drawers. It was a mini fridge, and I opened the fridge and looked in the fridge, and I'm just like, fuck, like where could this cat be? This room is so small. Maybe she got out when I packed the car. I mean, she can't be in here. It was literally so mind-blowing. There was no place that this animal could be. And I thought that's really weird because in the times when she has sprinted out the door, I've noticed like her chubby body like running past me, but this time I didn't. But it was just so inexplainable that I thought that she must have gotten out. And so I start to get stressed. Like, we are on the side of a highway. There is a gas station across the street, and then there's nothing else. And I don't know where the hell my cat is. We're supposed to check out at 11. Still no sign of her at like 10:50. So Brian's like, let me go talk to the people who work at this motel. And they were so helpful. They said we could stay another hour, but if she still doesn't appear after 12, like, we have to pay for another room. So I'm thinking, like, damn, like, I'm gonna be at the side of this hotel, like, waiting for my cat. I would do like laps around the motel with the bag of food. I come back and I'm like, she's not in the parking lot. I don't see her. I checked under our car. I don't see her anywhere. And now I'm stressed. Like, I'm starting to freak out. Brian gets stressed and he sees that I'm stressed and he's like, relax, it's gonna be okay. She's gonna turn up. She has to be here somewhere. We're sitting with the door open, like, waiting for her to come back. And I'm just like, yeah, where is my cat? The people from the motel are like so kind, and they offered to check the cameras and see if we got out, because we're still thinking like she must be out there in the southern wilderness. And I remember I would take her bag of food and I would do laps around the property with the Alabama sun like just taking a shit on me because it's so heavy and so humid, and there's nothing on this property other than like pieces of trash that I'm literally picking up to see if she's underneath, calling her name, shaking the bag of food, crying, saying, Angie, where are you? Please come back. I need you to come out. I love you so much. I cannot leave you. And I remember I checked like underneath the dumpster. I was like sticking my hand in gross piles of mysterious objects. It was disgusting. It was awful. I felt so hopeless. I was like, I'm gonna have to stay here. I can't leave her. And I'm starting to think like, did somebody put her in their car and drive off? I don't know what I'm thinking. I remember like hearing the sound of cicadas and looking at the parking lot and just seeing literally the biggest roach I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was like a piece of shit this big on its back, kicking its leg, like making this weird hissing sound, like, nah. If I was a really nice person, I probably could have flipped it over, but like, I hate roaches. And I just felt so hopeless, so depressed, so sad looking at this disgusting creature and just feeling like nature is cruel. And I just keep doing my laps around this, shaking the bag of food, like, please come back. And I would come back upstairs and sit in the motel room with the door open. I remember standing like out on the like outdoor hallway on the balcony, if you will, and waving the bag of food over the edge, shaking it just a little bit so she could hear, crying. This kind southern Alabama grandma who was working at the motel cleaning the downstairs beds just like looked up at me and was like, that's your baby, isn't it? And I was like, and we're like the only people in this motel other than the people who like worked there. They must have been thinking like, oh my goodness, these idiots, they left and they can't even keep track of their cat. It was awful. I felt like I wanted to be run over by a truck. And then I'm just sitting at the desk, like my face in my hands, just hoping for God to have mercy on my poor soul. This must be bad karma because I have, you know, talk shit about too many people on TikTok. And then Brian gets a call from his mom and is like, well, did you check the box spring in the bed? And Brian asks me and I'm like, yes, I checked underneath the bed. I checked literally everywhere. She is nowhere. You can't get underneath this bed. His mom's like, well, why don't we just like pull the mattress off the box spring? And I was just like, oh my God, I do not have that energy for more disappointment right now. Like, I'm ready to just sit and wait for her to come back out of the woods from whatever she was doing. Brian and I start to like pick up the corner of the mattress. And I remember this like old grandpa who like was part of the motel staff was like walking past and he saw us like trying to tear apart the motel bed like a bunch of crackheads. And he just comes in and looks at us like, this man like is like 500 years old and does not speak English at all, and he just stands in our room watching us. And Brian like lifts up a corner and sticks his hand like underneath the mattress, like basically filling up the box spring. And he's like, oh, there's like a hole here, like a rip in the box spring that's underneath the mattress. And he sticks his hand in the hole and this bitch slaps him with her little claws. And he like pulls his hand out and he goes, oh, and I see him go, she's in the box spring. I see in his face that he's both relieved and pissed. And I just turn to the old grandpa and I'm like, she's in the box spring. This man doesn't speak like any English, but he somehow understands what we're saying. And he helps us take the whole mattress off of the box spring. We'd like torn apart this motel room. And she jumps out of the box spring. The box spring was like hollow inside, and this bitch had found a hole in the back, snuck in, and just like chilled there for an hour. And I am so relieved. I am like crying tears of joy. I'm like, my cat, she's back from the dead. I put her in her crate. We give this guy 20 bucks because we're like, thank you so much. And yeah, like we found her. She was in the box spring the whole time. I can't tell you, it was like the most stressful experience of my life. Like I really thought my cat was dead. I remember walking out in the parking lot with her in the crate, waving at all the hotel staff, thinking like, these people must think I am such an idiot. I was a mess in front of all of them, parading the grounds, looking for my cat to emerge from the woods when she was in the box spring of the mattress the whole time. If you made it this far, I'm really surprised. Thank you so much. I promise I'm gonna make some more content soon. I know this is different than what I usually put up. I have some pop culture videos I'm working on. I also have some music I'm working on. May take me a second, but I promise it's coming. Like, comment, and subscribe. Ooh. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.